What is up, everybody? It is Brian with First Shot Tactical, back with another video for you here today. And today we got a fun one here. We are doing the 1500 round review on the Springfield Prodigy. So I already have a 500 round review on this exact gun here. So now we're just gonna be doing the 1500 round one, kind of same format as far as pros, cons, any issues, malfunctions that we had with this. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. First thing to point out, as far as the gun I have, again, this is a Springfield Prodigy 4¼ inch barrel. There is a 5-inch model. This is the smaller of the two. And after the 500 round review, I did add a Holosun 407C on top, as well as a Surefire X300 down here. And I would call this basically the final format or final configuration I want to do with this gun. I wouldn't add anything else to it. And I have absolutely loved using it in this setup. So the first thing we got to say is, look at this. The gun did not blow up. So 1500 rounds and it's still alive. And I'm still alive, so that's good. But anywho, as far as the pros on this gun, the pro right away is this is a great budget-friendly price point as far as 2011 or 1911 double stack handguns go. And I've enjoyed all 1500 rounds shooting this gun. The recoil's smooth, it's super accurate, and it's just overall a pleasant gun to shoot, especially compared to like a Glock or a SIG. This is just kind of a different beast in itself, but very enjoyable to shoot. So let's talk about, did we have any malfunctions after our 500 rounds? Drum roll. No, we didn't. In my 500 round review of this, I did mention I had 3 malfunctions in the first 500 rounds, 2 of them being failures to feed, and then 1 of them being a failure to extract. But since then, I have not had a single issue with this gun in the 1,000 more rounds I put in after that. That being said, I did keep this lubed up. I cleaned it every 500 rounds, so at the 1,000, and then I just got done cleaning this after the 1,500 round. But that's one thing to note. These are not Glocks and they're not SIGs, so you do need to keep them lubed up at the very least if you're not gonna clean it. So as far as the gun goes, no malfunctions, awesome. Reliable, love it. But now let's talk about some of the downsides or issues I did experience with it. First and foremost, we gotta talk about the magazines. So it came with a 17 round and a 20 round magazine out of the box here, which I have. And then I picked up another 17 and another 20 round magazine for this. My one complaint with these 17 round mags, when you have them full, like I have this one here, you can see it says 17 here, is they just rattle like a maraca. And everyone told me, Brian, just hit the base plate and it'll fix itself. Tried that, and it still just rattles. That being said, these are a lot more affordable than a Staccato or any of the other expensive double stack 1911 magazines. So the pros and cons, you get what you pay for. If you're okay with the rattle, then so be it. But it does get annoying at times. Moving on, the second issue is still with the magazines. So for 2 of the mags I had, after about 1,200 rounds through them, obviously not with 1,200 rounds through one magazine, but 1,200 total rounds between the 4 that I have, the 20 round magazines that I have got all gunked up on the inside to the point where I would feed the bullets in to reload it, and this the feeding part would catch inside the mag on all the gunk, and it just wouldn't accept the bullets or it wouldn't push them up. It'd get stuck. Very easy fix. Took the base plate off, took it apart, cleaned it out, put it back together with some lube in it as well, and it works just fine. But with all my Glock magazines, I don't think I've ever had to take them apart ever in like 1,500 rounds. Normally that's like later on. So just a little con there, not a big issue, but just a heads up, your mags are gonna need cleaned. So that's it for the magazine. So let's talk about the actual gun. There is one major issue with this gun, and it is all about the optics and the sights. As much as I love this gun, this is such a touchy subject to talk about because you want your gun to be awesome, but there's always something that sucks about it. And for the Prodigy, it's the optic and the front sight. So the front sight, as you can see here, I actually swapped this out. I have a red fiber optic sight on the front. It comes with a greenish yellow one, but after shooting, I wanna say it was 1,000 rounds through it, it just blew out. So then I tried to put it back in. I used a little heat and then touch it back up, and it just blew out again. So quick fix, I actually prefer the red fiber optic. So I had some, put it in there, cut it, and then kind of burned both ends to heal it into place. And that has stayed in so far, but it might come out on you. All right, so the #1 issue about this gun is this rear optic plate or plate cover, whatever you have back there, major issue. I talked about this in my 500 round review. I had just the optic plate cover, no optic mounted to it. And during that first 500 rounds, the screws from the factory came out. I almost lost one at the range. And basically I took some blue Loctite, re-secured it down, and then it was okay. So then when I switched to this optic plate adapter, which is from Springfield, and the way this optic plate adapter works is there is is it slides on top, and then there's 2 screws that take the plate directly to the slide. Once you have those in, you have the footprint of the RMR, which is my HoloSun's footprint here. And then you take 2 more screws for your HoloSun, and they go directly into the plate adapter, not into the slide, just the adapter. So the issue with it then is, you can see I've marked these here for the 2 screws, watching them to make sure they don't back out. These are fine. These stay in. I put blue Loctite on these. The issue is the 2 screws underneath that you can't see. They're like about right here under the optic. And it's the 2 that secure this plate adapter to the slide. They keep coming out. So the worst part about this, if you do have this issue, you're gonna feel the whole adapter plate and optic loose on top, but your screws are gonna show just fine, but it's the screws underneath to the slide that are the issue. So originally I put blue Loctite on for the plate adapter to the slide. Blue Loctite, screwed those down, put blue Loctite here on my HoloSun, screwed those into the plate, and it ran fine for about 200 rounds, but then I noticed the whole plate was loose, and sure enough, I took everything back off, and the screws of the plate adapter to the slide came loose. So now I'm currently on take 2 here. I used red Loctite this time, and I secured it with the red Loctite with the plate to the slide, but then I just used blue Loctite for these top 2 for the HoloSun to the adapter. So I am fingers crossed this works, because otherwise the next option is just getting a soldering gun out and just securing it to the slide, which I really don't want to do. But anyway, this is a major issue in my opinion, because that's how you aim the gun at what you're shooting. And if you have a loose plate adapter or screws that keep coming loose, you're not gonna be able to hold 0, and you're just gonna be shooting at whatever. But with all that out of the way, like I said, I hope this red Loctite solves it. I'll let you guys know in an updated video, but again, that's the biggest issue with this guy. Whew, sorry, got a little heated about that, but I just got so upset with the whole optic situation on this, because you spend a lot of money on a gun, you want everything to work perfectly fine, but when you compare this to a Staccato, I know this is half the price, and all the Staccato owners are gonna be saying, well, Brian, you get what you pay for, half the price, half the optic plate, you know? Which may be true, and that might lead to some of you getting, all right, you know what, let's just get a Staccato instead of the Prodigy, because you don't wanna have these issues with an optic on top. To each its own, but in my opinion, I would 100% still recommend this gun to everybody. Whenever I take it to the range, I let people shoot it, and all of them go, wow, this is awesome, works just fine. Is it better than a Staccato? Well, I haven't really gotten to shoot one at all, so I can't really compare that. But everything besides the whole optic and sight issues on this gun's phenomenal. It's reliable, it works great. Like I said, no malfunctions in the other 1,000 rounds I had through it. And like I said, I would recommend this gun. Well, that's enough for today here on the Springfield Prodigy. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you out there, either steering you towards getting a Staccato instead, or picking up a Springfield Prodigy. Like I said, I do recommend this, just minus the whole optic thing. It is a great gun. If this was helpful, like and subscribe to the channel. Always appreciate that. Got a bunch of other videos up on the channel now, and a bunch more on the way as always. And until next time, have fun shooting, and we'll see you soon. Thanks everybody.